There we go. All right. I got some things to talk about today, but I'd love to hear from you. Looks like Janella, you're interested in talking through some things that you were doing on your own. We can take a look at that. And then I think I want to try to. So office hours is a place that I can just kind of stumble over things and what's going on and try a few things out. So is that? Yeah, okay. Anyway, so hey Janella, what have you been up to? What have you been working
on? I've been playing with some trying to get a table of information into my of invoice information.
Okay.
Into my invoices, but I'm having trouble with the API. I duplicated kind of the request from our class, and it yeah, I'm getting a 1710 error message that I'm missing the root element, so I'm not sure what that means or how.
You're using, what does it say? You're using what?
I'm getting an error message 1710, and it's missing the root element.
In FileMaker, or is this?
Yeah, it's just trying to get the data out of FileMaker on the API.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I don't know what I've done or not done.
Let's take a look. You want to start and share your screen? And
yeah, I just made a change to it though, so I'm not sure. So now I'm like, oh, maybe it will do something different. So hold on. I will share my screen.
Hey, Orlando, welcome.
Screen more. Okay, share.
Hi there, Jeremy.
So I tried to use the one we had before, and then I was trying to use the script for load invoice detail. So I did this.
Are you okay? Yep. Let's see here.
Data set variable, load data from script. Okay, so here's where I'm usually getting this error message, and then if I see the result, it's this 1710 missing root JSON.
All right, show me your the script again. I think I know the issue. I've never seen that error before, but let's see here. Oh, line 12. This is my fault. The line 12 is using the query as the parameter, but we don't have any. We have the request as the parameter. So the request variable is where we stored the entire buildup of the query of what the API script step uses.
Okay, so it's supposed to be the request and not that.
That's correct, yeah.
Okay. Try this again.
There you go. Let's see.
Yay, data. That's exciting. All right.
So, yeah. All right, so.
I'm not getting any data here, but.
All right. Can you right click on your web viewer? Let's see what's going on there. See if there's anything there that's interesting. It might be just that do you have VS Code running? Is the development server running? Right click on that on the web viewer. Yeah, you're not getting, okay. So is VS Code running in your, doesn't look like you got VS Code running.
Oh, you know what? I don't. I stopped it and I just uploaded the code recently.
Okay. So do the npm start in the server or in there, yeah.
Oh, should I do import first?
No, because you're,
Should be
let's see
there.
what this does. Okay.
All right. Oh, look at that. Yay.
Look at that.
All right. I was only 2 steps away.
Yeah. Very cool. Now, if you don't mind, can we stick with this for a few minutes and just take a look at some of it? So this is great. I love this. And I love that you were able to get new data in. It looks like, can you show us the place where you put in the columns in the VS Code? Do you have that?
The columns here.
Oh, sweet. You do have it in a separate, and you're exporting it. Great. Nice. Okay. And then you're importing it at the top and you're just pulling the columns. Great. You don't have 2 different ones, right? 2 different invoice data sets. So like line 12 there, it looks like we're setting the columns to the same
Oh
thing.
yeah, I only used one. I was trying to figure out why. I was trying to stay as close to like the original request as possible.
Well, if you don't need 2 data sets, what I would do is comment that line out and just you could write a new variable, const columns equals invoice detail, and just remove the need for any of that checking to happen.
Yeah.
Just get rid of that.
Just the equals, right?
Yeah, you don't even need the data type. You're just going to say const columns equals the variable that's in line 2. So invoice detail, remove the quotes there. Because so
it'll catch that then. Okay.
It'll catch that exactly. Yeah. So cool. Let's see if it works, but it looks like it shouldn't be a problem. Great. Good. Very nice. I love it.
Yay.
Does it feel good to have this, like be able to
Yes.
use real data?
Yes, very exciting. Well, it's been very frustrating to get to this. Like I know some little thing is off, but yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've done it once in the training and you've just done it here. So I think it's just doing it more times and getting that. I still struggle with it here and there. It still takes me a few minutes to figure out, to remind myself what to do. Let's do some things to this. Like I noticed that you're having to scroll. Is this going to be a portal? Or is it going to be a list view in your layout?
Well, yeah, I've been trying to.
It could be either. It just depends on what you need it to be.
Yeah, I have a layout that is, it was a portal, but we decided that I mean, it could be anywhere from like pages of information just to 1 page, and then like stuff was getting cut off. So we were trying to go to the actual record itself to create the layout, but then it was also grabbing this details information, which was a completely other separate relationship that's that kind of was getting thrown off. So we were going to try to grab the information with this and then add it to the invoice at the bottom, this additional details information. So.
Okay. Because, okay, so let's just do some things to kind of, let's pretend this is going to be a portal. I noticed that you're having to do a lot of scrolling. If you go into, do this, let's go into layout mode and let's pretend this is a portal on this layout. So in layout mode, you can take the web viewer in layout mode of FileMaker.
Layout, okay, come in. I was going to say that I think that the goal is to have like at most 10 lines of information on our invoice.
Yeah. So, okay. So click on the web viewer. Now you can see over there in the inspector, the auto sizing has anchors on all 4. Let's turn off the right and the bottom one so that it doesn't resize itself when you stretch it out. And then make your portal or make the web viewer smaller, maybe the same size as what you think it will be on your layout, your actual layout.
Okay.
So maybe something like that. Okay, go into browse mode. Reload it and let's see what that did. So we got some issues here. Let's do a couple things. First of all, you mentioned you only wanted 10 records to show at a time. Are you gonna handle the paging too and have that going on?
I don't know. I haven't gone that far yet.
Okay. Well, let's go to VS Code and let's just make some changes here. Orlando, have you done anything like this? Have you put anything into that we've done in training so far or anything into real life apps?
I'm going to be honest and say not yet.
Well, I don't know.
Tons of ideas.
Tons of ideas. Okay.
Some other stuff first.
Well, this is good to experiment. If you don't mind, Chanel, we could stick with you for a little bit and try to get it set.
Probably figure out how to format it. That'd be lovely.
Yeah. The first thing I would do is go to the index.js file and update the page length from 20 to 10 or something. Save that out. And then run that. Okay, so we're not getting much difference, but now we're only getting 10 per row. Go to your index.html file, and where it says on line 19, where it says class equals table, right after the word table, do a space inside of the quotes, do a space inside of the quotes, and write table again, the word table dash SM. There you go. And then let's do a space and then do table dash striped.
Nice.
Okay. All right. So it made it a little bit smaller. It looks like that item description. It's interesting that item description is taking it's auto sizing the lines, those first two rows. That's really nice, actually. I like that. That's an advantage of the JavaScript that the others don't have. Okay. Hey, Kyle, it's good to see you.
Hi, Jeremy. How's it going?
Oh, we're trying to work with data tables in the real world. I know you've had a lot of experience. So
I've been working on it all day today, actually.
Yeah,
So,
for your actual job, or
yep, for my actual job, I created a universal search engine, and I'm trying to get it from development into production. So
great.
That's my job today.
So this looks good, Jenna. I mean, if this is roughly the size that it will be, then you've got an interesting start. What I would do, yeah, go ahead and play with it and see. There's a couple more things we can do. What's up? That is correct. I mean, what would we want to do? Should we, you could, well, let's do this first of all. Let's go to your VS Code. And we haven't been in this file, but in the style.css file. Yep. Inside of that, okay, so this is the styling, and this is where it anything goes. Type this in there. Do what is it? I'm gonna type it into the chat. There you go. So try that. Put that underneath the last style there. Yep. And save that. Okay, so I mean, we're getting a little bit more data to show because everything's a little bit smaller, right?
Yeah, I think that's starting to fit there.
Starting to fit there. You're having to scroll. Can you try to make it a little bit wider and see if we can come up with if we can get rid of that vertical or the horizontal scroll there in the web viewer?
What I'd probably say is set the width of that quantity field.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great idea. Let's do that. Yeah.
You probably title it just quantity or QTY, and then have it the width of your biggest number.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That'll save a ton of space.
That's right. We could go into, so if you update the field column titles, you get maybe like QTY or quantity or something, right?
Okay.
And then we can make that column narrower because it's just numbers. I think that's in your JavaScript, right?
Oh, okay, so
And
here
where
in the
you're,
columns, I'm calling QTY.
yeah. We could almost put like,
At the end of that line, you could put width colon and then put a percentage.
so like, yeah, so you see how you have the title and the data properties, you could put another property after the item dot, yep, right there, put a comma, and then say width, colon, maybe colon, and then quotes, maybe 10%. Let's just try that and see. So that'll say this column only gets 10% of the table's width.
Nice.
That's not too bad. That scrolling is bothering me a little bit, but maybe especially the top scrolling, we could see what we could do there. But it's not bad. You know what I don't like here? I don't like that the paging is underneath the scroll, right? That shouldn't be there. That should always be on the top. So let's do something. Go back to JavaScript in your the data tables options, right, where it says like page length and such. Do scroll capital Y, one word, colon, and then do quotes, maybe put a, yep, maybe 300 pixels. Let's see what that does. What this will do is it will prevent, it will give the area where the table is only 300 pixels of height. All right, so save that and let's see if how that changed your. Let's do 200 just to be extreme. See that. So that's kind of messy. Let's do 100. So what it's doing is this scroll Y option only gives the place where the rows are 100 pixels of width. So at least now that footer of the table is visible all the time. So the scroll bar went away on the right side of that. We added another scroll bar, but that actually makes sense. This looks more like a portal, correct? Yeah,
Okay.
when we do this. But now we see that it's a little bit, you could actually maybe cut the difference and do 150 or something. The goal is to try to get that the paging mechanism at the bottom of that portal. That's pretty dang close. Maybe do 140 just to try to get rid of 145. There might be better ways to do this. We could. Okay, that's not bad, right? So now people can scroll through that. And I guess what I would say is maybe you don't need to limit the number of entries shown right there. Maybe you could just let people scroll through them all, right?
Well, it's supposed to be printed.
Oh, it's going to be printed. That's okay. That's interesting. Okay. Actually, I'm not sure if this can be printed. Go to preview. Hit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's not going to.
Interesting. Okay.
So if this is just for printing, then what I've told people, is kind of a cop out is the FileMaker just won't print well what's in a web viewer.
Okay.
There are ways around that, and I think I have a good way to do it. I was actually I can actually test it out with you all today. But if you really need it, then I guess you would just have to go to the related records or go to a print friendly layout, right? For it to work. So.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry about that. I
Not
didn't catch
using a
that.
web
earlier.
viewer, but that's good. I get to test using it, so that's good.
Here's another approach, the scroll. Okay, that's right. So if we put that into the, Kyle, if we put that into the CSS, would it hide both scroll bars?
It may hide both, but you can adjust the overflow hidden. So the max width to 100 will prevent it from showing the Y scroll bar. The X scroll bar, I'm not sure. That might do the X as well. So
Paste that
it's
in.
something to
Let's see
try,
what-
and we might have to tweak that a little bit.
All
But
right,
it's just a universal one that I use for hiding scroll bars
cool.
in the web viewer.
Let's see what that one does. There you go. Beautiful. Good job.
There we go.
Nice.
So yeah, the vertical's still there.
So now you have, you have a portal basically, right? And it's got all that functionality that was built into the data table pretty quickly. So very nice. Now let's look at that. This will be funny. Do that. So it's still only taking up that amount of space because we have that hard coded.
Okay.
And that's fine. It could be fine, but the web viewer is obviously a lot bigger. So that's actually interesting. I would just remove, at this point, I would just remove the scroll Y option out of the JavaScript in JS. Yep. You could just comment it out. Yeah, there you go. And so now it's only showing 10 records. If you say it, yeah, there you go. Now it's going to fill up the space. All right. I was thinking about that. I was like, why would you want to show entries, like show a number of entries? A portal, we never had that option. And I don't know if anybody ever asked for that as a technique in the community. So I might get rid of the paging allowance altogether and just hard code that.
Yeah, I've actually hard coded it to 50 in my app.
Okay. So page length is 50 for you all the time?
Pretty much, unless somebody complains and wants more, but usually everybody's pretty happy with 50. So,
Cool.
And it's faster than doing 100. So.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I hope this got you started on a good road, Janella. This is good.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you're taking this. I'm I feel bad every time that people struggle with this after the session, but I realize you're not going to be an expert. What?
Part of learning.
It is. It's struggling with it and figuring it out.
We're all still learning.
Yeah. I want to make that as easy as possible, but it is tough. By the way, Jenna, I do have a video on my YouTube channel that shows how I did some extra styling to my data tables.
Okay.
So I'll find it and put a link in there in here so you can see that. In the meantime, you want to, Kyle, do you want to show us your rendition of the data tables? Can you show it?
Yeah, I wasn't prepared for that, but let me pull.
You're
one
always
up.
Prepared for it. I don't know what you're talking about.
I have to go into my dev environment, so I'm not showing real records here. Okay.
Well, while you do that, I will.
So dev, and then
It was in office hours, wasn't it?
okay. See, share screen. And sure. Okay. All right. So this is what I've been working on. So they wanted a universal patient search, but the problem is there was patients in the patient table and patients that they could only be found in the appointments table because it was appointment specific. If they had an appointment within a certain date range with a doctor, they wanted to be able to find those patients. So they wanted to be able to easily switch between the tables. So we've got search appointments, which can, sorry, this is test stuff. None of this is real. But so basically I did my own custom pagination down here.
Yeah.
So this is two web viewers. So I got the web viewer that's the table, then I got a pagination down here, which I custom built. And then I'm using the execute data API script step, and it gives us the total record count and the found count and all the information I need to populate this. So it's just a neat little widget I added in here. So if I go back to patients, it's going to go from 152 records to 73. And then I got the pagination working that way. So see, I also, if I do Chris Barber, I believe had some records. And if I do search appointments, I can do a query of the appointments table for the doctor that has the ID of 58. So you can see here's the staff ID is 58. One of the cool things about data tables is I can actually move this stuff around. Here, I'm going to get everybody's images out of the way. So another thing I've also done here. So right now I got 1 to 50 of 152 found. What happens if I want to export this to Excel? So I click export to Excel, and there it is. So what's really cool about this is I'm actually doing execute data API, and I have a script that converts the JSON into a tab file. So this is exporting a tab file, and it allows me to do custom headers. And I can also keep the custom headers in the exact same order. So right here, it starts with age. Maybe I want it to be the name to start rather than the age. So I can move that over there. Maybe I want to see the staff ID over here. And then I export to Excel again. And so now we have the name in the first column. We have the staff ID and the age. Also, it's not showing any of the field names until you start getting into the IDs, maybe. Oh no, these are all custom headers. So I can easily customize a header in the JSON that I have right here in the search button. Don't save. So this is kind of a cool feature that I've been adding into it. See, I put little X's there. I can search for date ranges if I want to search only for greater than, well, May 1st, I guess. So we'll go to May 1st. So let's search for appointments. That's also going to give us a different found set. So 1 to 36. I can export those 36 records and see there's my 36 records. So really cool that I can do that. And then because it's using the data API and it's just getting the JSON, it's able to return this exact same found set. So here I have 11 records, and I'm just going to export. And there's my 11 records from a completely different table, but it's pulling the data the exact same way it does for the data tables, using the exact same criteria for the column sorting. So I'm able to capture the column sorting from my data tables and apply that to my Excel export. So just some really cool stuff I've been working on. And also I capture the current search details here as well. So that way, if somebody's searching and they're not sure what it's actually showing them, they can see that. It provides clarity. I added that because, you know, sometimes you could have, say I'm searching for records between 2 dates rather than the other way. So this patients, so there it shows me the creation timestamp. These clients were created between those 2 dates. If I go back to date search and search patients, it's going to say greater than. So the importance of that is if I remove the date range and I still have this tab selected, I can search patients and it's still going to show me that greater than, which is over here. So yeah, it's kind of cool there. Also, another really cool feature here. If I go into here, I actually have a toggle column searches. So I can search the columns individually. So if I search for TX, oh, okay, so apparently, oh, because there's a creation date. I'm not sure why it's still including that. Let's clear that search. Maybe that was interfering. Let's try AL, maybe. There we go. Okay, so yeah, for some reason I have a little bug in there. I got to get rid of that. But then it gives me the patient state and what I'm searching for. So it's really good that I have this and it's providing clarity for troubleshooting. I know what it's searching for. So what it is I have a base query based on all these fields up here, and then I can subquery that with the names and whatever I want in this column here. or in this row, I mean. So if I am searching for stuff up here, and then I search for that, I can see the ages there, but what happens if I also want to search TX within that base query? Now it's searching both the age and my patient state. So that's why it was kind of, it was stuck in the JSON somehow. It didn't get cleared when I hit the clear button. But this one is working. So now I can see that I have my base query and my subquery from my column search. And it also shows it here as well. So it's kind of cool. So this is the feature I've been working on. And you can remove these one at a time. You can search for multiple column criteria, whatever you need. And you can turn that off. You can export to Excel again. And it just returns everything really fast. So that's the project I've been working on using DataTables. So
very cool. Very nice.
Yeah.
Wow, that's very neat. Is that interesting, Janella? I mean, he spent a lot of time with that. So
yeah, it's a project I've been kind of working on for 6 months probably. So, but it's I started with just the base tables and trying to create a universal search engine where I can point it to any file in our system, any table in the file, and do a query on that table, and then pull everything into a DataTables web viewer. And then I also created a script so I can capture what's in the web viewer and export it in the exact same order and appearance that you see it. So everybody's really loving that so far.
That's great.
Yeah, just great being able to leverage JavaScript in our files.
Which library are you using for the export of interest?
Oh, see, I can show you that, I guess.
And is the one you're using better than the built-in one in DataTables?
It's actually a script I created myself.
Okay.
So I have, if I go up to the top here, am I in the right server? Yeah, okay. So there's lots of stuff in here. But so I created this script here. So something I created last year, but I've been modifying it and refining it. So basically I have a couple samples here that I use for testing. So this is basically a DAPI response here, or I can do just a custom JSON array, just like that, and I can export that. So if I say, okay. So if I want to do a test here, I can do this and save it, and then try to run that, and then, okay. So apparently I messed something up when I was doing the DAPI part, but okay. So again, I didn't really prepare for a presentation here, but this is really cool because here I just have some sample stuff that's not formatted for readability, but it's for testing it. And okay, so I did something to my samples that it's not quite working right. But as you can see, it was, if I do the export to Excel button, it's doing a DAPI call, and then it feeds that in here. So, I know what it is. It's because I added the headers. So these are the custom headers that I can feed into it. And because I haven't tested this without converting to the custom headers, and that's why all the headers were messed up, because it didn't have the valid JSON. So I need to add that in my script if there's no headers or no header modifications, then to ignore it. So debugging and live here, that's basically what's missing from my samples here, is it doesn't have this section for new headers to be able to take that field name and to be able to convert it into a readable, usable field name in the export. So I have that, and then basically it takes the JSON coming in. I did a little, it's doing substitute. Okay, so it's rebuilding the JSON in a way that I can convert it into a tab file. And then here I'm adjusting the header so everything's named correctly. And this is what's messing up that header row, because that JSON is missing. So I need to put, if it is valid JSON, then process this. Otherwise, don't process the headers at all. So that's a script step I need to add. But basically, it just goes through that JSON that I supplied the custom headers. It replaces the field names with the header names. And then I have a just JSON sort object elements in array. So what that is doing is it's allowing me to change the sort order of the columns that I'm exporting, because it's just bringing in JSON from the DAPI call, and it needs to be sorted in the same way the headers are sorted in order to have everything appear correctly on the export. And then converting the JSON into CSV. So I have another kind of complicated formula with 2 whiles. So it loops through list values count. So this is going through the header parts, and then it's going through all the data in each of the sections of JSON, all the different objects. If there's an empty value, then I have to throw something in there because I'm using a list function here, which empty values will disappear with the list function. So I just put a placeholder here, and then I'm substituting at the end just before I export the data. So yeah, I'm not using any JavaScript library or anything for this. I actually created a script in FileMaker to convert that JSON into a tab file. And then I set the path, desktop, and then a file name, export it to that path, and then it's complete. So that's pretty much it. So it's my own little creation. I'm still creating it. So
Cool.
if you ever wanted to learn how to do dynamic exports from DAPI, there you go.
Yeah. Very good. All right. Great.
Just on a similar subject, has anyone seen if anyone's been able to implement the export options within DataTables directly? You know, there's options to add buttons for Excel or PDF.
Yeah, I've seen demos for that. I'm not sure if it works within FileMaker or not. I haven't actually implemented that in FileMaker using their library.
Yeah, that's what I'm not.
But that would be really cool to be able to leverage that. So I developed a workaround that works, and it's compatible with any DAPI call. So
let's see. So I have, let's see if we can find something here, because I do have, you made me think of something as, here, I'll share my screen. Oops. There we go. Okay. Let's see. So I have this is all my JSON. Okay, so I do have a JSON to CSV library, and let's see what this does. I've forgotten what this does. Oh yeah, okay. So I've got some JSON here, and this is interesting. I wonder if it's possible. So the idea is that it can take this JSON and turn it into CSV, and then we can do an export. And it will. Did it do it?
I almost did CSV with my script as well, but tab I found was just real easy to do.
So I wonder if, well, what I was thinking is, could I, so album year, because in DataTables, let's look at DataTables. In DataTables, we could actually get, let's pull this up, DataTables. DataTables has a data property. Let's see, data option, data. Get the data for the whole table. So I was wondering if there's a way to get the data for the table. I wonder if this would work. So let's see. This method provides access to the raw data that is used for each row in the data tables in the API's context. This result contains the raw data, be it arrays or objects, with each row defined. Okay. The row of the orders, the order of the rows is the row data index. Let's see. I was hoping that this would, So there is a way to get all of the tables data. I was hoping there was a way to actually, let's just do it. I'm just going to do it quick here.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, we got some time. So I'm going to write window dot get data from table and equals function. I'm going to say, let's see, it's just telling me what it is. I'll just do const object equals, and then do FileMaker.perform script. What do I want to call this? I want to call it data from table and then object. So if I go over to FileMaker and I write this script here that takes this and this and this. So web, get data from table, oops, get data from table, that's the function name. Don't need, oh, I don't need the JSON, but I do need the perform, that's what I need. All right, so if I run this, it's going to trigger this thingy here. This will go and get the data from the table. I'm just going to see what happens here because I don't know. And then it's going to put it into a script called data from table. From table, and then I'll do script parameter. All right. So there we go. All right, so let's see what happens. So let's just load this again. Now let's run the script right here. Okay, so it's giving me, it's interesting though, because it's giving me,
It's an array number to start.
yeah, that's interesting. Let's see what, I don't know what rows does. I'm just going to remove that and see what table brings. All right, and then that. Okay, so it's the same thing. Okay, so I wonder if, I guess this isn't really helpful because, okay, so it did say this. It says it returns the raw data. So it's not returning these 3 columns. It's returning all of the data that I sent to it. So that's kind of not the right way to go. Let's see if there's a better way to go. Let's see here. What am I doing? Okay, let's go back to jobs or to here. So let's see, data tables, get rows in the table. Let's see if this, working with rows, this method is the row counterpart to columns and the method for working with column cells respectively using a selector. I do not know. There's got to be a way to, because if I have a filter going on or if I have a sort going on, it'd be nice. And given that I've only got 3 columns here, even though the table, the data themselves has like 6 columns, it'd be nice to be able to get just this data, because then I can do what you're suggesting, what you've worked out, and pass just these 10 records, or I guess all 206 records. It wouldn't be a problem if I passed all of that, but I pass it all back to FileMaker, and then FileMaker can do an export with it, like maybe putting it in a container field. I think because you can do that, or in a text field, you can export from a text field, I think, or you stuff this in a container field. I'm not actually, I can't remember how I would do that. It's this. What am I doing here? I'm putting it into this text field, and then I am exporting this text field. Yeah, by just entering export field contents, just this field. So that's interesting. Okay. So I wonder if the whole thing I'm trying to think of is how do I get the actual sorted rows? So maybe data tables, get data sorted. I don't know, get data sorted. There we go. Get data table data concurrent, reordered, or sorted order. Interesting. Table.rows. Interesting. Let's try this. Table.rows.data. And then let's go back over here and do. Actually, let's just do this. Let's do set variable param get script parameter, and then let's do exit script. Actually, I'm just gonna get rid of that because then I want to do JSON format. No, I'm not going to do that because then I can just do that in the browser. Okay, so if I reload it, debugger, nope, it's not what I wanted. Get data from table. So let's see what the parameter is this time. JSON format elements. All right, so I'm still getting everything. However, it did say that if I had it sorted, which let me sort it by state vertically or ascending, and I rerun that. Let's see if at least the order. I should get Abbey Haven as my first record. I do. Okay, that's great because that's not the order that it went in. So I wonder if okay, interesting. I wonder if the selector modifier gives me current applied page. Oh, this is interesting. Look at this, guys. I could tell it, oh, nice. Oh, this is great. Okay, so page and search. So I could tell it, I want you to give me all of it or the current page only. Let's try that. Let's try that. So let's go back here and put that into the JavaScript. See, I'm still learning this and I've been playing with this for ages. What was that? Page and then current. All right, so if I have 10 records in there and then I run this, I need that. I have a 49-inch monitor and I still don't have enough room. Oh yeah, it's got to run. Yeah, it actually gave, I think it actually gave me what I'm looking for. So it gave me 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the last record on this page is Larkin View, and that's the last record on here. And then there's just a bunch of junk in here that, oh, this actually is kind of cool because it's telling me all about my table. There's way too much stuff in here, but it's unfortunate that it doesn't. Why wouldn't it do that? That's unfortunate. There's just, let's try something else. Let's see what columns. Does that work? So if I reload that, boom, and then run that. Is that anything different? So here it's, oh, interesting. I'm not, it's giving me it by columns, guys. This is interesting. So here's the first column, second column, third column. Oh, that's interesting. It's only giving me the columns information is only giving me the number of columns that I have, and it's giving me the raw data in each column. That's interesting. So what would you do with that? Could you do anything with that? Could you, I wonder if it would be really tough. I wonder why. That's interesting that this right here is, so rows. So let's just run that again. I want to run that again. And actually want to do get data. All right, so on it, I wish you could programmatically cause the debugger to come up rather than it just being up all the time. Okay, so rows is giving me, it's still giving me all of the raw row data. The columns option was only giving me the data in the columns. So that's interesting. But let's see here, select, I could do the search. So if I did a, oh, this is interesting. I could actually say, if I did search, if I put a search parameter in there, I could say, give me only the data that applies to the search, or give me the data that's not in the search. That's interesting. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if this is useful or not. It feels like you have the better solution, but it's nice to try it here in DataTables, because you're right. I haven't ever been able to get the export to work. The only thing I've been able to do is add the copy button. There's a copy button, and it does copy into your clipboard, and then you can paste it into a browser or into a Excel file. So that's not a bad. That's not awful.
This is still pretty useful to be able to just pull the data directly out of the data tables without having to do another DAPI call. You just
Oh yeah,
you can. That's a function that pulls the field data out that you need rather than from each of those different objects.
The interesting part is that it's a little tough to parse, because you'd have to know. Well, so I was thinking about this, like, since I put the word page in there, it's only giving me 10 records, 0 through 9, that are in the table of view.
Yeah,
I was thinking, how
want to delete the rest?
And then what?
You'd want to delete the rest, the Ajax and the content or whatever.
But how would I know that? That's what I was trying to think. Like, is there a way? Does it tell me? There's got to be a way that it tells me.
Well, it tells you the sort order too.
Yeah. I was thinking, does it tell me paging? Because if it tells me how many records are on the table, then
you know how many arrays to get out of it.
Yeah. So, oh, there it is. I just saw it. Length 10. So I don't know where that is in the. It might be at the top level. I'd have to explore it, but interesting. Okay, so this is something to explore. Let me do this. Const L equals data dot length. Maybe. Anyway, all right, so that is good. That's an interesting idea, but thank you, Janella, for bringing your data tables to us. And it's nice to work through it. I'm glad you got that working. I'm happy that you're trying to apply it to another table. I'm glad. What I was hoping to talk about, I'm glad we didn't talk about it. And thank you, Kyle, for showing all that you've been working on too. That's pretty cool. I remember seeing it before, and it was different. I mean, you've done a lot of work since then. So
Yeah, it is really cool. It's a really dynamic tool that you can put anywhere in any file and be able to search any table in any file from one spot and one layout. And you can repurpose that one layout to search for anything and everything, which is awesome. It's really easy to manage one layout versus managing 20 different search layouts. So,
what I'm going to try to do, and I was going to walk through with you all and stumble with you all, is so I've got this in the last couple of minutes because I have a training session coming up, but I have a new DataTables starter kit that we're going to use for the next training group. And it's just it's a simpler one. It's just very simple. And for I think for the auto enter that Proofgeist and Selenium is putting on, I'm going to do a session called, it's going to be something like get data tables set up in your system in 23 minutes or less. I'm doing that because they only want sessions that are 25 minutes long. So I'm going to see if I can get this down to just 25 minutes where you're using this starter kit and you're pushing it into your own app and you are connecting it to data in 25 minutes or less. And I was thinking about turning this into an add-on. So I got to figure out how to take all this stuff and make it into an add-on so that someone could install this data table starter. And the cool thing is that it would be connected to this file still. I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out. So anyway, that is it for today. Thank you all. Good to see you all. And I got to run to my training, get prepared for that. So
I do have a little side note and about the web viewer debug. The MBS has a function that can show the web viewer debugger.
okay.
It's a function that can show the debugger.
All right.
I think that was the one. I've played around with it and I got it working in one of my scripts. It was kind of fun to play with, but it is possible to have that scripted.
Hey, Steve, sorry I forgot you were there. I'm sorry you were so quiet today.
That's all right, not a problem.
I hope you were enjoying this at least.
I did upload that post we talked about last time, so
Okay.
I don't know if anybody's had a chance to see that or not. I know it was a holiday weekend, so maybe.
Oh, that's right. Your question about that. We'll take a look at that again. So we'll figure it out.
Thank you
All
very
right,
much.
all. Have a good day. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
See you tomorrow.